Okay, welcome back. Part 2. So we're going to do some more focusing in on healing our organs and healing our mind, healing our energy, so that we can be a better vessel for peace. Kidney energy. Courage, willpower, self-esteem versus fear, envy, jealousy. But today, we're looking at the anatomical organs. So here's the kidney. Renal arteries, renal veins, inferior vena cava, descending aorta, closely near the kidneys. Small. I heard once that if you go like this and you were to cut this piece off, that's the size of your kidney. This is your heart, right? We got that one. This is the kidney. Just so tiny. So powerful. You know, even my modern dialysis machine is the size of a refrigerator. Maybe can, in some ways, reproduce some of the functionality of this teeny little human organ, which we have 2 of. And you can survive with only 1. And I think it does a lot more than just that. It's more than just cleaning the blood, ridding the body of waste. There it is again, the tree, plant, the yin organ that looks like nature. A resin cast of the urinary vessels of the kidney. The red structure shows the major and minor calluses, which receive urine from different sections of the kidney, passing it first to the renal pelvis and then to the ureter. Stones are small. Stones can be larger. The size of the stone doesn't necessarily equate how painful it is. 2 big industry chainers in the urology department. I mean, my father once commented to me was, my father been practicing urology almost 50 years, and he said, Viagra and lithotripsy. Viagra or Cialis for erections, erectile dysfunction, was a big change in their profession, and lithotripsy, which essentially, the way you used to get rid of these kidney stones is you have to surgically go in and remove it. Now you can sit in a bath, or sometimes you can sit in a bath, and they orient or triangulate 3 shock waves onto one point where they can, with an ultrasound, I believe, know where the stone is, and they send a shock wave, and it pulverizes the stone, and then you pass it as sand through the urine, and there's no surgery. Or there's some medications that might also be able to break down the stone, depending on if it's uric acid stone or depending on the type of stone it is. And you didn't hear it from me, but I once heard Dr. Zhang said this, Ji Zhang. He said if a patient comes in with their kidney stone, tell them to go to the store and buy a 6-pack of Coca-Cola. Go home, sit in the toilet, and drink the whole 6-pack. I don't know if it will work, but maybe there's something in the caffeine or the sugar or some of the ingredients that can help dissolve stones, and you can flush it perhaps through. So you might try that before lithotripsy, and if it doesn't work, you know, that's another option. You can get more invasive. But I thought that was interesting. I never forgot that. He said, but I didn't tell you that. So I didn't tell you that either. But that's what I remember him saying. So let's meditate on the kidney for a moment. Just if you want to put your hands in the back to feel the kidneys, you can do that. Realize as you inhale, so the strength of the kidney dictates your inhalation. It's the strength of the lungs for exhalation. Just a few more breaths. Bring your hands to your heart. May all the good merits of this practice be offered to the liberation of all beings from suffering. And when you're ready, slowly allow yourself to come out of practice and allow your eyes to open. Liver. Deep organ. Blood stagnation, obstruction, either damp accumulation or chi stagnation or blood stagnation that causes obstructive jaundice. Fatty livers, obviously too much damp or phlegm affecting the liver, too much heat. Pylophlebitis, inflammation of the portal vein. Bacteria arrives in the liver by way of the portal system. Small abscesses around the portal radicals, particularly at the top of the specimen. It's like eating away at it, these little abscesses. Commonest cause, perforated appendix with generalized peritonitis. Inflammation. Inflammation in the gut causes bacteria to get into the portal vein, the liver, causing all kinds of trouble. Adenocarcinoma, commonest malignancy of the liver. Again, malignancy from the colon by way of the portal vein. Portal cirrhosis, finally nodular surface of the liver showing the commonest kind of cirrhosis, portal cirrhosis or alcoholic cirrhosis. So that's actually dead tissue, cirrhotic tissue. We'll get to the different in Chinese medicine how like certain elements that you can bring back with acupuncture, but if the tissue is dead, necrotic, you really can't. But here's a like post-necrotic cirrhosis in a case of viral hepatitis C, inflammation of the liver, virus. Von Gierk's disease, another liver with a pale bulging surface. This time the liver is filled with a glycogen. Von Gierk's disease, the glycogen storage disease of children. Genetic disorder. Big organ, keeps the body clean. Protected partly from the rib cage, or by the rib cage. And this was that slide I was telling you about. Fatty liver we can work with in Chinese medicine with herbs and acupuncture, even perhaps a fibrotic. But a cirrhotic, that tissue is dead. That part. So there's a liver cancer, liver disease. You can see like the specks on it. That little green thing is a clamp holding it aside so you can see kind of the specks on the liver. It's not a clean color, one color. There's an MRI again. It's just to show off how large the liver is inside the abdominal cavity, and those two little islands on the side are arms. Stones, the bile duct, intrahepatic bile duct, or gallbladder. Damp accumulation, phlegm accumulation, poor digestion, poor diet, too much stagnation, either physical, emotional, or both. Just to show the size of next to like a 35 millimeter camera film. Also a little dated because most of us don't really use that type of film anymore. So let's just meditate for a little bit on the liver. Some healthy tissue. Feel the liver, if you like, in the abdomen, but to the right side.
Another reason why I want to keep this back straight and elongated so that lower rib cage doesn't press into the liver all day long. Just a couple more breaths.
And when you're ready, you can bring your hands to your heart. May all the good merits of this practice be offered to the liberation of all beings from suffering. When you're ready, you can slowly allow yourself to bring the practice, allow your eyes to open. And last one. Focus on the pericardium, the wrapping around the heart. Endocardium of the heart, myocardial, the cardiac muscle. Then you have this visceral layer of the serous pericardium, the epicardium, so the visceral meaning the layer that's closest to the organ. And this pericardial cavity, and then this parietal layer of serous pericardium, so parietal meaning further away from the organ layer, and then fibrous pericardium at the edge, at the outside. Here's another view. The mediastinal is like in that area between the heart and the lungs called the mediastinal area, the pleura. And the two layers of the pericardium is the parietal, the outermost, and the visceral, the one closest to the organ itself. And the heart's in the middle. Heart protector, iPhone case, I don't know. Or is it its own thing? You know, like some iPhone cases, like part of the case is a charger for the iPhone. It's not really the iPhone, but it's kind of the protector. Also the thing that kind of gives life to the iPhone. I don't know. Is that what are we starting to explore what this outer layer of something that's sacred could be? Maybe that's what the pericardium is. There's another, the real example. It's a very thin membrane. It protects it, keeps it warm, keeps it away from, it is the sacred innermost. So if any bacteria or virus or anything could get to it, that, it could be like demise of the country, like a foreign rebel got to it, so you might need like an extra protection, like a decoy, so if anything is destined for the heart, it can only get as far as the pericardium. And that goes for anything, whether it's good or bad. Anything attacking the heart or anything trying to make peace with the heart, you can only go talk to the, the emperor's right-hand man or woman. And then if the right-hand man or woman feels comfortable communicating to the heart, then it's at their discretion. Compression of the heart due to fluid accumulation within the heart, so pericarditis. I had a friend once who had pericarditis after going through a divorce. And he's like, yeah, literally like heartbroken. It literally broke. And pathogen got in. And I had a serious ailment for quite a while. Thickened pericardium, that's really all I'm trying to show here. Fibrotic tissue, dense fibrous connective tissue. So maybe this iPhone case is kind of been dropped too many times, or is getting kind of weak. It's losing its elasticity. I hope you guys get the analogy. And I love this. It's hard to see, but you can see, if you look in there's like a little line pointing from there over up to where the pericardium is, just right up against the lung. That mediastinal area is tight. Lung, pericardium, heart. Tubes going, the into the lungs, the bronchi, bronchiolis. We'll meditate on this. That's a good one. Just a few moments.
Focusing on the outer layer of the heart, how we interrelate with beings around us. Third circuit. Be in your heart. Just a few more breaths. Just a couple more breaths. When you're ready, you can bring your hands to your heart.
May all the good merit of this practice be offered to liberation of all beings from suffering. May all beings be happy. And when you're ready, slowly allow yourself to come out of your practice and allow your eyes to open. Bells are ringing.
Perfect timing.
Today's class is about just trying to visualize and meditate on the actual anatomical organ of all 16 organs. Since we're out of time, we might have to hold questions till another time if that's okay. Or you can always ask me after class. Keep meditating at home. That's the homework right now. Meditate 15 to 30 minutes each morning. Journal for a little bit after each session. Take a half day in silence if you like that. Keep reading the book Pieces Every Step if you like that. Hopefully you'll be enjoying that. I'll probably talk about paper a little bit more next week, but it's next week's just the 8th week, so we still have a few weeks out, and it'll be light. You'll see. Any questions? Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Thank you.
Good to see you all. If we can get some help putting the room back to a regular format, that'd be great. I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Thank you.